In today's episode, stay tuned, we're headed to Dallas, Texas for Kessler Baking Studios gold leaf windows. So today we're heading to Dallas. We're going to meet up with Clyde from Kessler Baking Studio. And he's got a beautiful little building there, Bishop Arts District. And Clyde first called me a while back and had me do a hand-painted wooden sign for his storefront. And then called me not long ago and mentioned that he was getting new glass, a new doorway put in, and wondered if I could come up with something that would really stand out. And something I've always wanted to do was to create a storefront with gold leaf that mimicked some of the Paris bakeries that were done in the turn of the century. And so that's what we did. We put together a design that is inspired by the old Paris bakeries. And if you look up on Google Images, you can find a bunch of those original storefronts to see what it was modeled after. So let's meet Clyde, and then we'll take a look at the project.
I'm Clyde Greenhouse, the baker and owner here at the Kessler Baking Studio. We do everything from scratch here using a butter produced here in Texas. Cookies, brownies, blondies, shortbreads. We do some specialty items during the holidays like cakes and tarts. Great.
When we're executing projects with gold leaf, especially gold leaf on glass, there's a wide variety of techniques that are very specific to the process, and working with gold is very, very tricky. It's pounded very, very thin when it's pounded into leaf from gold bars, and because of that, it's very light and moves around a lot, and it takes a long time to master. And the process you're seeing in this project is what's called water gilding, which is applying the gold leaf to the glass with a solution of distilled water and food-grade gelatin. And then the border work is done with a different process called oil size, which gives it a little bit more of an antiqued appearance. And the two next to each other is a really attractive combination.
Hey, Sean. Question for you. Do you have any hints or tips or lessons learned for creative individuals looking to kind of start their own thing, get out there in the freelance world? And hope you're doing well. Thanks.
That's Steve from Dallas. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate the question. I've been asked this question before, and I kind of have a two-pronged answer for it. I'll give you the kind of the esoteric, existential answer first, which is that I really think a person has to set themselves free. And what I mean by that is whatever programming, dogma, whatever you want to call it, that you have about yourself, that the world around you is created since you were born. You can kind of have to bust past that and redefine yourself in the world in the way that you see fit and what makes sense for you. On the more practical side, one of the things that I see that needs to be given a lot of attention by someone branching out to go out on their own and work creatively is you really have to handle your business like a business. And it's tough to do, especially if you're a creative-minded person. Nobody likes dealing with, all of the confines of paperwork and, all of that. But even beyond that is the kind of everyday expectations that come along with doing business with anyone. And that includes, being there on time and, returning phone calls and, just following through and doing what you said you would do. And I was fortunate. My father instilled those things in me from a very young age, working with him. So a lot of that became second nature for me. But it is something that I see on a regular basis, that people coming into it really need to make sure they take care of those things. And the good thing is if you have that part of it going, a lot of the rest you can figure out over time. Eventually you can find somebody to help you figure out your taxes and do all that stuff. But in the short term, if you're not showing up on time and, following through with commitments with people, your business isn't going to grow. No one's going to recommend you to someone else. And so that would be my advice.
Adios.